Hello and welcome to Sports News. I'm Barong Tony Ranta. And we begin on the continent, where in the final game of the Africa T20 Division 2 Cricket Championship, Team Nigeria put up a good show by beating Zambia with 66 runs. Coach Clive Ogbimi's team made 157 runs for 9 in 20 overs, while Zambia managed 91 all out in 18.5 overs. Despite the win, Nigeria failed to make it to Division 1 after losing crucial games to Ghana and Seychelles. Zambia and Ghana lost a game each, but it is the Nigerian neighbors that secured promotion to Division 1 with a better net run rate. And still on the continent, African football ruling body CAF have decided that Guinea and Sierra Leone will host their Day 3 matches of the 2015 Nations Cup qualifiers in Casablanca and Yaoundé respectively. Guinea will face Ghana in their Group E clash on Saturday, October the 11th at the Mohammed V complex in Casablanca, while the Group D clash between Sierra Leone and Cameroon will take place on Friday, October the 10th at the Amadou Djidou Stadium in Yaoundé. Due to the outbreak of Ebola in Guinea, Sierra Leone and Liberia, CAF ordered that Guinea and Sierra Leone cannot host matches and competitions on their territories until further notice. Guinea had earlier hosted Togo in Casablanca, while Sierra Leone played host to the Democratic Republic of Congo in Lubumbashi in September. And elsewhere, a long-range strike by Oscar helped Chelsea edge past Bolton 2-1 at the Stamford Bridge as they reached the fourth round of the Capital One Cup. Eden Dzeko and Frank Lampard each scored a brace as Manchester City produced a second-half blitz which saw them demolish Sheffield Wednesday 7-0 at Etihad Stadium. Tottenham came from behind to beat Nottingham Forest 3-1 at White Hart Lane with goals from Ryan Mason, Roberto Soldado and Harry Kane. Nigerian international Brownie Day opened his goal account for West Brom as the Baggies rallied from a goal down to beat Hull City 3-2. And away from soccer, the Qatar women's basketball team forfeited a match at the Asian Games after being refused permission to wear the hijab. The Qatari players were asked in accordance with the International Basketball Federation rules to remove their Islamic headscarves in order to play against Mongolia. However, the players refused, saying it violated their religious beliefs and wanted to send a strong message to the sports governing federation that the ban was unfair. The team took their stand against what they say is a discrimination policy against women. Golf now, and in the Ryder Cup, world number 1 Rory McIlroy admits he would be thrilled to lead the European Ryder Cup team out onto the course. McIlroy is rumored to be starting in the first 4-ball pairing on Friday morning, but the Northern Irishman, who has won 2 of the 4 majors this year, said he would be happy to play in any way that the European captain Paul McGinley wanted him to. Europe have dominated the Americas in recent times, winning the trophy 7 of the last 9 times. McIlroy believes they have the right formula to triumph again at Gleneagles. And that's it on World Sports News for tonight. I'm Barong Tony Ranta. Ijoma will be back with the rest.
On the foreign scene now, U.S. President Barack Obama has asked world leaders to commit to combat the spread of extreme violence. Speaking to delegates at the opening ceremony of the 69th United Nations General Assembly, President Obama highlights efforts to address global challenges from the outbreak of the Ebola virus disease to Russia's invasion of Ukraine. However, he devoted much of his speech to curbing extreme ideologies. And he also urged Iran not to let the opportunity for a nuclear deal by which Tehran would rein in its atomic programs pass.
Those who have joined ISIL should leave the battlefield while they can. Those who continue to fight for a hateful cause will find they are increasingly alone. For we will not succumb to threats, and we will demonstrate that the future belongs to those who build, not those who destroy. The Security Council will adopt a resolution that underscores the responsibility of states to counter violent extremism. But resolutions must be followed by tangible commitments, so we're accountable when we fall short. Next year, we should all be prepared to announce the concrete steps that we have taken to counter extremist ideologies in our own countries by getting intolerance out of schools, stopping radicalization before it spreads, and promoting institutions and programs that build new bridges of understanding.
U.S. President Barack Obama, we're going to stay with the foreign scene, where a video which contains brutality that's strikingly similar to that of the Islamic State has been released, showing the beheading of French tourist Hervé Godel. Now here's Cynthia Are, and she has more.
It's indeed very unfortunate, but it's the fourth of its kind in which 2 U.S. citizens were killed in the past, as well as 1 Briton. Speaking of IS, U.S. warplanes have carried out new airstrikes on Islamic State militants in Iraq and Syria, hitting vehicles and arms dumps. 8 IS vehicles were damaged near Abu Kamal on the Syria-Iraq border and 2 others in Deir al-Zur in the east of Syria. In Iraq, there were strikes on IS targets west of Baghdad and south of Erbil. Also today, President Barack Obama has laid out a broad vision of American leadership in a changing world. During a UN speech, he told the General Assembly the world had not confronted the intolerance, sectarianism, and hopelessness that feeds extremism.
Together, we've learned how to cure disease and harness the power of the wind and the sun. The very existence of this institution is a unique achievement. The people of the world committing to resolve their differences peacefully and to solve their problems together. I often tell young people in the United States that despite the headlines, this is the best time in human history to be born. For you are more likely than ever before to be literate, to be healthy, to be free to pursue your dreams. And yet there is a pervasive unease in our world.
Finally, South Sudan's hunger crisis is eased after a green harvest, but about 1.5 million people are still in desperate need of food. Experts confirm that the situation could worsen next year when a further 1 million people could find themselves in a crisis or emergency. And those are the top stories on the foreign scene. It's back to you, Ijoma.
Thanks a lot, Cynthia. And the main news again. 135 Boko Haram terrorists have surrendered their weapons to the Nigerian military, signaling that the armed forces is making progress on the war against terror. Also today, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar formally declares intention to contest in the 2015 presidential election, promising Nigerians a better deal. Well, that's the news at 10 tonight. Thanks a lot for staying with us. I'm Ijoma Onyato. Focus on Africa is up next. Do have a good night.
Transformation ambassadors of Nigeria.
My good people of Nigeria, does anybody use mirror to look at what they have at hand? No! Good luck at the ingredients of life. Automobile industries, full encouragement. Second Niger bridge from mirage to reality.